College Basketball Saturday on ESPN Radio. It's an ACC Top 25 showdown.
Put the ball, goes to the basket, reverse layup is good! Oh, what an acrobatic finish!
The 22nd ranked North Carolina Tar Heels head to Charlottesville to face the 14th ranked Virginia Cavaliers.
3-on-1, lob it up and jam it down!
Number 22 North Carolina at 14th ranked Virginia. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11:30 Eastern, with tip-off at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. The Hoop Collective Podcast.
We got an Anthony Davis injury update from the Mavericks, and the Mavericks don't say what the injury is.
The whole thing is very strange.
Well, he's got a significant hand injury. The plan is to avoid surgery. Sounds like he will be at least cleared for basketball activity.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. The UAH Chargers would have three players scoring double figures, led by Quentin Tolles, 19 points. UAH downs Valdosta State at home, 77-69. Matt Thurman, career-high 12 rebounds in the contest. UAH women pushed their record-winning streak to 16 games, thanks to their 64-48 win over Valdosta State. Lily Wilkin led the way, 21 points. She becomes the 11th player in program history to reach 1,000 points in a Charger uniform. Both teams back on the court tonight, 5 p.m., 7 p.m. inside SportsMed Arena as they host West Florida. 30.1 million tuned in to watch the College Football National Championship, the most watched college football game since 2014, the most viewed non-NFL sports telecast since 2016, World Series Game 7. Make sure and download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog!
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Oh, yeah, baby! I know what you're thinking. Football Friday! The Doghouse. I know some of you are thinking that, oh gosh, there's only a couple of Football Fridays left. I'm only going to get to hear this for another couple of weeks until after the Super Bowl. But no, Football Friday is a 52-week deal no matter what's going on. So yes, we will have football music. Every Friday we'll have football music, including the original Monday Night Football music. I wonder why the Facebook people, they never shut me down for this. Is it out of copyright? Maybe it's... Greatest single piece of sports music ever. Better than that Olympic theme. Better than Here Come the Mets. Oh, it's just beautiful. You know, I don't often take it right to the end, but, you know, everybody gets involved. The guitar, the keyboards. Just just all go nuts at the same time. How about the horns? Where do you ever hear horns anymore? The grand finale. I just feel like I need a cigarette after that. I don't even smoke. And I feel like I need a cigarette after that. It's so good. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is Football Friday in the Doghouse. Lots of football on the show, including the highly interactive, often imitated, never duplicated, own home appliance Friday trifecta. Now, that does have a shelf life, okay? That does have a shelf life. This one ends after the Super Bowl. Now, we do select Friday trifectas throughout the rest of the year. For example, we will do the 500 fecta for the Daytona 500. Hollywood Hogan's very excited about that. Okay, we'll have, really, to be honest with you, Grasshopper should be too. I have to have that. I think that Hollywood and I are going to have to do an intervention on Grasshopper because he's gotten into this other kind of racing that is like on a road course with little tiny cars or something. And it's not even on real TV. It's like just streaming only. And I think that Hollywood and I are going to have to bring him back to the Great American Race. We're going to have to bring him back to door handle, rubbing his racing. I think that's what we're going to have to do. But we'll have a 500 fecta. Of course, we'll have the Madness fecta for March Madness. We'll have a Masters fecta. We have other random ones throughout the year. But enjoy 3 more weeks of this Friday trifecta and the grand trifecta now. We have today, we have next week, and then we have next week we'll have the annual Super Bowl prop fecta, and then we have the super fecta. So you got 3 weeks, 4 picks per week left. So 12 picks left to win our grand prize, which is the complete Gordon Ramsay set of kitchen appliances from Owen Home Appliance, which is the new range, the range hood, the fridge, the dishwasher. Talking about a $10,400 value, and you pay nothing. And even if you got a new kitchen, new appliances or something like that, no worries. You replace it with something else of equal value or you sell them. And maybe Mike Owen will help you with that. And yes, they do still have some 5-point bonus T-shirts left at Owen Home Appliance. So get yours 5 miles south of the river on 231 in Alabama. And here's the thing. This week and next week, that's it for the T-shirts. They will not be available Super Bowl week. We're not going to have a scenario where it's like tied at the top, and if two people didn't get the T-shirt, and the T-shirt's going to make the difference. So you need to get your T-shirt this week, basically next week. All right, as of next Friday, as of the prop fecta, you have to have your T-shirt if you're going to get one. Okay, that's just the way that goes.
And now it's time for today's Dog Law. Words for every red-blooded American to live by. As presented by the Big Dog.
You have to have your T-shirt by next Friday.
That was today's Dog Law. You'll thank us later.
Sir, yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
There will be Dog Law the weekend of Daytona 500 for Grasshopper to make it clear to him what kind of racing he needs to be a fan of. We'll get that done as well. All right, we'll get you to trifecta in a moment. There is a 2-part bonus in there as well today, a 2-part bonus. Hour number 1 is wide open for you, so you can feel free to jump in and contribute. 256-5764-97.7. That number is good whenever and however you consume the show. We have a text window as well. That's open. That's a great way to get your picks in. We'll read and react to those on the air. Your text window is 7329-TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. Text window. Your call-in number is 256-576-4977. And finally, you can watch the show as well on WZZN TV. And the best way to find that is probably, well, you can go to Facebook pages, you can go to the various X pages, but you can go to my X page at Thom Abraham Show, and you can find the show there, and you could also find the posting there for the Friday Trifecta. Okay, so both of those things. Wait a minute, let me just look at it, make sure you got it right. Oh, he did. He did a great job on it. So both of those things are there. All right. And it's even correct, which is good. All right, let's get you to picks. All right, let's get you to picks here for the Owen Home Appliance Friday Trifecta celebrating 25 years. The way we are scoring this, pay attention because sometimes you guys miss this, and I probably should reset it during the show because people listen on an average of 18 minutes of the show. So the way we are no, it's true. The way we are scoring this, first thing you got to do is get both games right. I'm going to tell you that right off the top. You got to get both games right. All right, we're talking about $10,000 prize here. You got to get both games right, okay, to get points. Both games right gets you a touchdown. You get 6 points for both games right. Then you get 3 bonus points for each of the 2 bonuses. So you could score either 6 points is the minimum, 6 points just for getting the 2 games right, 9 points if you add one of the 2 bonuses. It doesn't have to be the first bonus, either one. 9 points or 12 points if you get the game and the bonuses right. Okay? That's how it works. It's that easy. So this is how it goes. We're starting with the New England Patriots.
Leave Brady alone, please.
He's not with the Patriots anymore, but we'll leave him alone anyway. Minus 4.5 in Denver. The Rams. Plus 2.5 in Seattle.
It's got to be one of the dumbest calls offensively in Super Bowl history.
Then, bonus number 1. The AFC plus 4.5 against the NFC. Now you say, what are you talking about, dog? What are you talking about? All right, so the total for the Patriots and the Broncos is 42.5. The total for the Rams and Seattle is 46.5. So the difference is 4 points, okay, in between the 2 games. So we're going to make it 4.5. So the AFC game plus 4.5 points versus the NFC game for the total. That's pretty clear, right? The AFC game plus 4.5 points versus the NFC game for the total. The total in the AFC game is 4 points less than the NFC game, according to Vegas. So that's bonus number 1. What game is going to score more, the AFC game or the NFC game? If you like the AFC, you get 4.5 points. Pretty easy. Bonus number 2.
Vol for life.
The Vols. The Tennessee Vols get 3.5 in Tuscaloosa.
Roll time!
That's a basketball game, in case you didn't know, tomorrow night. Now, speaking of that basketball game coming up at the top of the 11, Vince Ferrara of the Sports Animal in Knoxville will join us with his take on the Tide and the Vols game tomorrow night in Tuscaloosa. Plus, he'll update us on Tennessee football and the transfer portal, the QB situation there, and how important 2026 will be for Josh Heupel. Some fans are getting a little bit antsy there. Now, as for the basketball game, maybe this is a classic matchup of a great offense against a great defense. The Tide offense is number 5 nationally, second in the SEC, averaging 93 points a game, while the defense is 47th in the country and last in the SEC, allowing 83 points. Tennessee is 31st on offense, which is 12th in the SEC, with 82 points a game, but they're 15th defensively in the country. They're number 1 in the SEC on defense. Number 1. They allow just 69 points. Of course, with Alabama, The issue is usually how they shoot the three, right? Because they jack up more threes than anybody else. They make more threes than anybody else because they jack up more threes than anybody else. But they're fifth in percentage in the SEC and three-point percentage at 35%. I haven't done the math. If you make 45% of your shots and you make 35%, see, because they're 35% on threes and they shoot more threes than everybody else, they have a lower overall field goal percentage. I mean, it just stands to reason, right? If you jack up a ton of threes, and obviously the percentage on threes is less than the percentage on, 2-point field goals, you're going to have a lower percentage overall. But here's the thing. Tennessee is great at defending the three. Tennessee's great at defending everything. The issue for Tennessee is at the other end of the floor. And the other issue for Tennessee is turnovers. They're near the bottom of the SEC in turnovers. I think they're 11th to 12th in turnovers. So there's that as well. Also, we are getting word out of Birmingham as to what the state is going to do with reclassification. What we do know is that Class 7A is gone. So Alabama is going to look like Tennessee in terms of 6 classes. All right, they'll have 6 classes. They've also, for the first time in 104 years of high school football in the state of Alabama, they've also carved out the private schools. The private schools are going to have their own classification. Now, we don't know at least I don't know all of the exact details, as this is all just coming out right now. But if it's anything like Tennessee, the privates have 2 divisions. All right, there's 2 divisions of privates. There's the privates that do not scholarship, and then there's the privates that do scholarship. Now, they will be broke up by size. There'll probably be a couple of different sizes there as well, and they have a factor, a 1.35, whatever, enrollment factor. And there'll be some competitive balance type thing. But the bottom line is your Madison Academies, your Westminster Christians, and so on, and Randolphs, they're now going to be in their own category. So they're pulling all the privates out. And there'll be 6 classifications of public schools. The other thing that we know is that the top 32 size schools will be in Class 6A. So the top classification is going to be 6A, and that will consist of the top 32 schools in terms of size. And this I can tell you. Now, again, I haven't seen yet the exact schools that are going what classification and whatnot, but I will tell you this. Buckhorn is the 32nd size school in the state, as far as my intel. So my understanding is that Buckhorn is going to be in 6A, which they're in now, but 6A is, those schools are going to be 5A. So 6A is going to be the top classification. And my understanding would be, and again, this isn't official, but my understanding would be is that Buckhorn will be the smallest school in the 6A, which is the top division, top classification. That's what I think I know. I may not. I think I know that. But it's going to be like, so Tennessee, for those of you listening in Tennessee, what you got is 6As, there's 6 classes. That's what in Alabama, they had 7, and they mixed all of the privates in. Now they're going to pull the privates out. Now, I don't know whether they're going to have, I don't even know if we have privates. I know in Tennessee, there's privates that have scholarships, and there's privates that don't have scholarships. Like CPA was non-scholarship. Lipscomb, I think, is scholarship. So, for example, I'm giving you some example there. So that's out there. Also, the college football playoff will remain at 12, at least for next season. The SEC and the Big Ten could not agree on a format going forward. Both were good with 16, but the 10 wanted to guarantee that it would be 16 for 3 years and then go to 24. And Greg Sankey was not ready to go there. So Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, could not agree on that. Petitti wanted it 24 in 3 years. Now, I agree with Sankey right now to pump the brakes on that. Let's just hang on, because that would have done the death knell to conference championship games, for sure. No, not for sure, but it would have been. That would have basically ended the conference championship game. Tony Petitti is interested in how the committee is going to handle the SEC and ACC now that they're going to 9 conference games, like the Big 12 and the Big 10 have 9 conference games. Of course, the SEC and the ACC compel their teams to play a 10th Power 4 game. So you can't have 9 conference games and 3 cupcakes, which is what they do in the Big 10. In the SEC and in the ACC, you have to play a 10th Power 4 game. So in other words, you're only allowed to play 2 cupcake games. Whether it's a FCS school or whether it's a group of 6, whether it's a G6, and by the way, they're officially calling it the G6 now. The new Pac-12 is, a group of 6 conference. It's not a Power 5 now. It's a Power 4 and a group of 6. So that's the difference. The Big Ten refuses to make their teams play a non-conference Power 4 team. So again, Indiana next year will play 3 cupcakes. Now, there are some changes. This season, the Power 4 conference champions will be guaranteed a spot in the 12-team field, along with the highest-ranked conference champion from the group of 6, Notre Dame. So that's different. So they're not just saying, the top 4 conference, highest-ranked 4 conference champions. So that's out the window. It's the Power 4 conference champs go. Go. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that under that system, Duke would have been in this year. Now, the ACC, Duke would have been in instead of Miami. At 7-5, Duke won the ACC championship because in a convoluted way, they do their tiebreakers. And it ended up being Duke and Virginia in the ACC championship. Miami didn't even go. And then Duke beat Virginia. I think if Virginia won, they would have gone to the tournament and Miami would have been out. Because Duke won, Miami got in. So the ACC is changing the way they determine their opponents in their ACC conference championship game. The way they're going to change it is that Miami would have been in. So if you have a 5-way tie, they're going to put the highest ranked teams. Say you got 5 ACC teams all tied at 8-1 or 7-2. They're going to take the 2 highest ranked ACC teams that are in the tie, and that's how they're going to break their tie. So Miami would have been in, but they wouldn't have been in this year because Duke won the ACC championship. The other change is that Notre Dame, if Notre Dame is ranked in the top 12, they're automatically in the tournament. Notre Dame gets in if they're in the top 12. So in other words, under these rules, Duke and Notre Dame, they would have qualified for the playoff. And Miami would have been out. They would have been out. Duke and Notre Dame would have been in. Maybe, I think. Oh, I don't think Alabama would have been out. But Miami definitely would have been out. So anyway, there's that. All right, back at Mission Control. Playing the Planets That Matter, the Stacks of Wax, answering phones, living large and in charge on a Friday, spending way too much time watching Hot Wheels type racing.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
There was a lot of information in that monologue there. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of you got the college football playoff, you got the reclassification in the high school. Yep. You got you watching stupid racing. There was a lot going on there. There was monologue.
And you also got through the entirety of the Monday Night Football theme, so that's pretty cool too.
I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't played that whole sucker. I'll tell you what, the last 30 seconds of that might be the best.
Such a good. It's good to me. I think it's great, and it gets me ready for a football Friday. But I don't know how you could say that I'm watching Hot Wheels racing, and that's supposed to be like a diss. Is that supposed to be like a
Do they pass? Yes. Do they even have passing in that thing, or they just follow? Is it that road racing follow the leader type stuff? Do they pass?
Daytona 500. It's not the Daytona 500, but the Daytona 500 that is coming up.
You mean the 24 hours of Daytona?
I know. I'm talking about.
It's called the 24 hours of Daytona. You Mr. GT racing person.
Trust me, I know. It has more passing than the Daytona 500 does.
It does not have more passing.
The
Daytona 500 will have more passes in one lap than that racing has.
There was the second race for the MX5 Cup today at 10 o'clock Eastern time. I watched, and we're still watching it, actually. It's funny because it's the last lap. I'm trying to catch up with it right now. Last night, I tuned in. I just wanted to watch a second of it, see what it's all about. I'm not a huge fan of these Mazdas racing around. I ended up watching the entire
What are they,
thing.
4 cylinders? Do they have 4 cylinders? Or are they
zippy.
electric?
They are zippy.
They're zippy is right. Yeah.
They're not.
Are they golf carts?
They're not the boats that NASCAR has, but they are really entertaining to watch. And whenever it comes down to the actual 24-hour race, these things are not small cars. These things are probably bigger than what NASCAR actually is.
No, they are not.
Yes.
They're not sedans. No, they have the Mustang is the biggest car they got. The Corvettes and stuff like that are not bigger.
Well, they might not be taller, but they're similar size.
The only way that I will accept this, okay, my spawn, all right, watching GT or whatever they call that crap. The only way I would accept this is if you're still a NASCAR fan too.
Obviously,
I mean, I'll accept. Does Hollywood watch this crap too? I mean, is he a big GT fan, or is he like not even? Does he think that you're, a little effeminate watching this race?
No, he shook his head. Yeah, he said just a little bit.
Really?
He also does these races in iRacing as well. I mean, that's the reason why William Byron is who he is now, because he started.
Do you do any iRacing?
No, I don't. I do Forza, and I'd like to get into a little bit of Assetto Corsa, but I don't have the rig anymore. I used to have a little Ferrara.
Yeah, don't you have to have it like when Hollywood does the iRacing? Does he have like a steering wheel? I mean, you're not doing it with just a controller, right? They do it with a steering wheel because the steering wheel. Remember when they used to have it? I think when you were kids, I got one. They had a steering wheel and they had foot pedals. You got like a brake and a. Yeah. So they don't do that anymore, or is it just all on?
Well, I don't iRace anymore, but when I did, I have 3 pedals, I had a shifter, I had a wheel, and I had pedal shifters on the wheel too if I was trying to do any formula racing.
Nice.
It's legit.
You got to get him to listen, he's got a decent voice. We got to get him to get up on the mic, though. Remember what I taught you, and I taught all the guys there. What do we talk about?
We're sharing a mic here, all right?
I know, but when you talk on that mic, you got to talk to the plug in the back of the mic. You talk through the mic as if you're talking to the plug. I don't know if they taught you that in college. Both of you just went to college for this broadcasting thing, and I have a naturally big voice. I mean, I just have a big voice. But when you speak, you project your voice through the RE20 through the mic to the plug in the back. That's
yeah. Is that better?
Juice. Oh, much better. There you
go.
Yeah, jump on that mic. There you go. It's a good job by you. What do we got to do? We need to get multiple mics in there is what we need to do. All right. I'll tell you what. We have wide open first hour. So, look, it's football Friday. I got championship games. I got a big basketball game. I got Wolverine Dan, and that's it. So, we're going to come back, and we're going to take your picks in the Friday trifecta. And we're going to start with Wolverine Dan because he's the only one on hold right now. And I'll expect that when I return that there'll be more than just Wolverine Dan on there because this is the highly interactive Football Friday. 256-576-4977. Back with more right after this.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
AL cert number 21014.
As we flip the calendar to 2026, the holiday season may have left you a little short in the bank account, but Talon Heating and Air will not leave you out in the cold.
That's right. We're still offering free second opinions and service calls with repairs. In addition to that, we're offering up to $1,600 in TVA rebates.
Very easy to do. If you need that $1,600 rebate, all you got to do is
give us a call at 256-503-4490.
Talon Heating and Air, they're live, they're local, and you can find them online at
TalentHVAC.com.
Who doesn't need to save
$1,600?
Very easy to do. Again, Talent Heating and Air, the number and the web.
That's 256-503-4490 or TalentHVAC.com.
It's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. Give them a call today.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live heartfully. Live Stella.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford in Decatur, where we're jump-starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline in Decatur, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231. And welcome back, Tom Abraham Show. I'm getting fired up for baseball. I follow on the X, the Baseball's Greatest Moments feed. And they have all kinds of historical stuff, which is cool. And they posted the final standings. And it says, what, know the season? And it looks like newspaper style. You know, back when there was newspapers. And you would look in the paper to see the standings each day. And this was back before all the interleague play and stuff like that. And they had a National League and an American League, you know, when they were a National League and American League, and there were two divisions and so on. And that was back when Atlanta was in the National League West, which was won by San Diego, 92-70 that year. Atlanta was 80-82, finished 12 games behind San Diego. Can you imagine that? You know, they were in Atlanta, was with Houston, Los Angeles, Cincinnati, San Francisco, and San Diego in the National League West back in the day. The Cubs won the National League East at 96-65. Kansas City won the American League West at 84-78. 84-78. Crazy. And then winning the American League East was the Detroit Tigers at 104-58. And it says, name the season or know the season. It's 1984. I mean, the Tigers came out, they were 35-5 to open the season. They beat San Diego in the World Series that year. That was the last time the Tigers won a World Series, I believe. All right. Let's get to your calls. We start with Wolverine Dan. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
The greatest Tiger team is the 68 Tigers.
I would not disagree with that, at least in our lifetime. I would have to go back. I don't know. There were Tiger teams back in, Ty Cobb's day or whatever, but yeah.
Back in the day with Ty Cobb, there's probably some good ones.
Yeah.
Got a question. Maybe your crack research team is that your son?
We have multiple people over there on the other side. There are two producers over there, and the crack research team is probably goes by the name of Mr. Google. All right, but what do you got?
Okay, well, I got to, while I'm making my picks, maybe you can look this up.
I may notice in my brain. I may notice in my brain.
Okay. You said that Alabama averages the fifth highest scoring average in the NCAA basketball
this year. Yes, right now they're fifth in offense in the NCAA.
Right. Okay, so who are the other four above them? I'm curious because I got a feeling I know what I know who's above them, but I'm curious to find out who's the four teams that are above them. And they play in a weak conference. It's not a basketball conference. It's a football conference.
A weak conference.
That's what you say to me all the time.
Well, they got more teams ranked in the top. Okay, Georgia. Are you ready? Georgia is number 1, 94.8. Number 2 is Miami of Ohio. Number 3 in scoring is Alabama. Number 4 is Akron at 93. Number 5 is High Point, and number 6 is Michigan at 92.7. So Michigan averages about a half a point less than Alabama.
Yeah, well, okay, all right. So why don't we play the game then? Let's play the game. I want to make sure.
Well, you can't just make the game. I mean, they got to actually have the game.
I want to make sure you get your player that you're trying to get, Joey Botafuco. I want him. You know what I'm saying?
But Doc Charles Bediaco, he'll be playing this. Apparently, he's going to play this week.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'm looking at defense, and I know that Alabama's near the bottom of the country in defense, but I'm looking at defense. I only see the top 50 right now, and Michigan is not in the top 50 on defense either. So,
okay. All right, let's move on. Let's do the picks because I'm sure there's people want to get on.
All right. So we're going to start with the Patriots are minus 4.5 at the Broncos.
I'm going to take the Pats and lay the 4.5.
Leave Brady alone, please.
The Rams get 2.5 at Seattle.
I'm going to take Seattle and lay the 2.5.
It's got to be one of the dumbest calls offensively in Super Bowl history.
Who will score more, the AFC or the NFC? If you like the AFC, you get 4.5 points. Most points in the game. AFC or NFC?
I'm going to take NFC because I think Denver's going to have some issues with that quarterback.
Okay. And basketball tomorrow night, the Vols get 3.5 at the Tide.
Oh, God. You're going to have to probably have John get ready to record this. Oh, God. I'll take the evil empire.
Roll Tide! I almost had your Bama Zach Roll Tide in there. When you dropped the Roll Tide in there for Bama Zach, I almost had that one in there.
I miss Bama Zach.
We all miss Bama Zach. When I was looking at the old Tommy Awards yesterday or a couple of days ago, when Grumpy said I got to bring back the Tommy Awards, and I was looking at it, and Bama Zach had won one of the categories. I'm like, man, I miss Bama Zach.
Yeah, Bama Zach was a class act.
Missed the Undertaker.
Great people too.
Remember the Undertaker? Yeah. We missed the Undertaker who died.
I love Undertaker. I'll give you some of that. Anyway, so you said it was. I'm laying 3.5 to Tennessee, right?
You are. Well, you're laying 3.5 to Tennessee. Yeah, you got Alabama minus 3.5. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to probably. I don't know what I'm gonna do because right now I feel really bad because I picked Bama.
Yeah, go take a shower. You got to go take a shower. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I got to take a shower. I feel dirty.
There you go. Yeah, go take a shower. Get the Wolverine down. All right. Up next, let's go back to the lines. Jackson is a first-time caller to the Tom Abraham Show. Woo! We had Nature Boy in the closet. We always get excited when we get a first-timer. Jackson, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How you doing?
I am fantastic. I have a grandson we call him Jack. His middle name is Jackson. He's actually Thomas Jackson, and we call him Jack. So I am familiar with this name. Are you a Tide fan, a Auburn fan, a Tennessee fan? What do you like?
Well, I'm a glutton for punishment, so I'm a Auburn fan and a Tennessee Titans fan.
An Auburn fan and a Titans fan. And what station are you listening? Are you listening in Huntsville, Winchester? Where are you listening?
Yeah, I'm in Huntsville.
Huntsville. Okay. All right.
Yep. So I got a high school football question for you. I got some buddies that coach everything with this reclassification here. Who does that necessarily help? I've been told that Clay Chalkville, Mountain Brook, Florence, teams like that are moving down to 5A, and they're significantly bigger than the Gunnersvilles, the Boazes, things like that. How I'm trying to figure out what sense that makes to do that reclassification. If you've got any insight on that.
Well, I haven't seen the classes yet. It'd be interesting if those schools are moving down because you wouldn't think they'd be losing, enrollment. Because I know that Buckhorn will be moving up basically, and so if those schools were close now, Clay Chalkville, were they 5A or 6? They were what were they, 6A or 7A?
I think they were 6. I think they were.
Yeah, they were 6A. So they were 6A. So they're not moving down. 6A is becoming 5A. If does that make sense? All right. So they're in the same. They'll be with the same group of teams, but they were 6A. If they were 6A, now it becomes 5A. The teams that were 7A, your Bob Joneses and your James Clemens and the Hoover and those people, they become 6A. So they just eliminated 7A. It's going to be confusing, I think, for a while for people, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's not that they eliminate. It's not that they're dropping down. It's just that they eliminated 7A. And so that's how it's going to, that's going to, how it's going to work.
I guess what I'm asking, from the way I understood it, was that, some of the 5A teams are also getting absorbed into that new 5A as well with, the Clays and those other schools.
Right.
and that may be the case. Trying to see it right now. I do have they have announced the breakout, so I'll take a look at it here, and we'll get that information out.
Yep, understood. Well, I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate you getting in. Yeah, our friends at AL.com, I'm going to have to go and check it out at the state site because our friends at AL.com chose to put it behind a paywall. They basically put everything behind a paywall now at AL.com. And here's my problem with that. All right. And I'm not one of these haters of AL.com. I'm not one that, calls them AL dumb or whatever, because I think there are a lot of hardworking people there. But here's what I don't understand. They put it behind a paywall, yet there's ads everywhere all over it. Are these people not paying to be on there? Do we put the radio station behind a paywall? We have commercials. That's our paywall. We're out there selling it. All right. We go out there and sell it. Okay. All of our radio stations that hear the Thom Abraham Show, we go out and sell it. We don't put it behind a paywall. You don't have to pay $9.99 a month to listen to the radio station. We don't do that. If we did that, I would say there shouldn't be commercials. And that's how it started, by the way, when cable started. The idea is that you would pay and you wouldn't have commercials. That's how it started. But now we've trained an entire 2 generations through cables that you still pay. You pay for ESPN and you get inundated with commercials on TV. You pay for all these channels. Now, you don't for HBO and Max and those kind of things. But all those channels that you get on for the most part, the SEC network, you can't get it without cable. You got to pay a premium to get it, but yet they have commercials. So AL.com has ads all over it. Why do you want money from me? Go sell your product. Papa T is up next. Papa T, welcome to the show. How are you? Papa T, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. And you?
I am fantastic.
I can't complain myself.
All right. You want to get in the trifecta?
Yes, sir.
All right. The Patriots are -4.5 at the Broncos.
Let's go with the Patriots.
Leave Brady alone, please.
The Rams get 2.5 at Seattle.
Let's go with the Rams.
Who scores more, the AFC or the NFC? If you like the AFC, you get 4.5.
AFC.
And the Vols are +3.5 at the Tide.
Go Tide. That little
Roll Tide. That's Chuck with a Roll Tide in there. I'm sorry, Papa T. What were you saying?
I can't say his name, but old Deacon Mucky or whatever.
Charles Bediaco. What a story that is. Unbelievable.
I just don't want to hear it at the end of the year. That's why we win the national trip, because he could be that big to our team, I think. I know you're probably thinking, Papa T, you lost your mind, but I think he's going to be the contributor that might put us over the edge to win it.
Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. First of all, the crowd's going to go nuts, which is really cool. And then it'll be interesting to see how he is, how effective he is, and whether or not this is the only game he plays, because he's good till the 27th, right? So, we'll see whether or not he can hang in there. Certainly, that's something Alabama needs, is a big presence in the paint. You know what I mean? I mean, to get a big man like that would be a huge, huge thing for Alabama.
Now, if he interacts with these other kids ain't jealous of him, and he comes in there and they're thinking, okay, he came here and did that. You know how that goes. But I know you're busy, Tom, and if I get to talking, we'll be on here the whole show, because I love y'all to death. Y'all are hilarious. And
all right, man.
Grasshopper in the back there, he's a trip. I love it when it gets fired up. He would like me, and him watching a football game, maybe Alabama and Ohio State. We love to kill somebody.
All right, man. Good job by you.
My wife my wife heard him one day. She said, "Is that your brother?" I said, "No, I've never met the guy." She said, "He raises more hell than you do." All right, Tom, have a good day.
Man. Appreciate you. All right, before we get to the break, here's some breaking news. The Buffalo Bills are interviewing Phillip Rivers for their head coaching position today, according to Adam Schefter. Phillip Rivers, head football coach at St. Michael Catholic High School in Fairhope. And in fairness, the son of a coach. I mean, this guy's been around coaching his whole life. But Phillip Rivers, who, played 4 or 5 games there at the end of the season, came back out of retirement to play 4 or 5 games for the Colts at the end of the season. Phillip Rivers, who I think would be a really good coach, to be honest with you. I don't know if this is the moment in time, but Josh Allen is involved in the search as well. He's taking an active role in the search. And you say, well, wait a minute, you busted, Cam Ward for wanting to have that, but he's not Phillip. He's not Josh Allen. He's not a 2-time MVP. Okay, let's just pump the brakes on that too. So Phillip Rivers. Now it could just be an experience, but he has, in fact, interviewing for the head coaching job at Buffalo. All right, we'll get a break. We will come back, wrap up hour number 1 next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Championship Sunday of the National Football League. The Seattle Seahawks laying 2.5 against the Rams, 47.5 the total at Lumen Field, while the Patriots have been bet down to a 4.5-point favorite at the Broncos, 42.5 the total. VSiN's Matt Humans and Gil Alexander like Denver at plus 5.5. And John Hanson and Mike Somich both like Jared Stidham to go over 195.5 passing yards in at quarterback for the injured Bo Nix. Best bets available, VSIN.com/picks. College basketball today. Jacksonville State a 1.5 home underdog against Middle Tennessee State. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team to play is with USSSA. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but recreational tournaments as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, Alabama softball will host the USSSA National Championship this year at the Gulf Shore and Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. For more information, visit alfastpitch.usssa.com. Check out the schedule at alfastpitch.usssa.com.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the folks at USSSA Softball. That's right. The best place to put your travel softball team this summer is with USSSA. And not only do they have the best travel team tournaments, but they got great recreational tournaments as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, they're going to host this year the national championship down at Gulf Shores and on Orange Beach and at the Foley Softball Complex. So you need to go to alfastpitch.usssa.com to learn more. And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. So I'm trying to get you more information on the actual classifications because I think they are out in the state of Alabama. And of course, everything, as I said, at AL.com is behind a paywall now, which is offensive to me. And the Alabama High School Athletic Association website, AHSAA.com, doesn't come up. I mean, I don't know if it's crashed. I don't know what the story is. It doesn't come up. I mean, so trying to get that kind of information is just, it's next to impossible. It's next to impossible. I mean, Drew DeArmor probably knows. All right, but otherwise it's next to impossible. It's very frustrating, but it's par for the course, to be honest with you. Par for the course. So we'll see if some other site that you can get to, that doesn't force you to go to a paywall or something like that would have that information. You would think it would be fairly readily available. I mean, I can go to TSSAA and easily navigate all around their classifications and all the schools and everything else. But the Alabama High School Athletic Association can't get to their website. Their website's either crashed or who knows? Who knows? Ridiculous. All right, hour number 1's in the hopper. Going to kick off hour number 2 with Vince Ferrara of the Sports Animal in Knoxville. Get his take on the game tomorrow night in Tuscaloosa. And a number of other things as well. It's all coming up right here. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show is next.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with the 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. The UAH Chargers would have 3 players scoring double figures, led by Quentin Tolles, 19 points. UAH downs Valdosta State at home, 77-69. Matt Thurman, career-high 12 rebounds in the contest. UAH women pushed their record-winning streak to 16 games, thanks to their 64-48 win over Valdosta State. Lily Wilkin led the way, 21 points. She becomes the 11th player in program history to reach 1,000 points in a Charger uniform. Both teams back on the court tonight, 5 p.m., 7 p.m. inside SportsMed Arena as they host West Florida. 30.1 million tuned in to watch the College Football National Championship, the most watched college football game since 2014, the most viewed non-NFL sports telecast since 2016, World Series Game 7. Make sure and download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app today.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my...
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here. And welcome in on a Football Friday in the doghouse. And I know some of you are thinking out there, well, only a couple of weeks left on Football Friday. But no, that's not true. Football Friday's a 52-week deal, man. No matter what's going on, we've got Football Friday for you all throughout the year, okay? And we do have your highly interactive, often imitated, never duplicated, own home appliance Friday trifecta. Although there is only 3 weeks left in this one, okay? That's it. And then we are going to go ahead and award the grand prize from Owen Home Appliance, which is the $10,400 kitchen, the complete Gordon Ramsay kitchen, the appliances
from Owen Home Appliance, the new range, the range hood, the fridge, and the dishwasher. So we will get back to those picks here in just a little bit. It is as I say, a Football Friday. We are welcoming in a new audience now listening in Nashville, Nashville Sports Radio in Nashville and in Murfreesboro, to go along with our friends at 97.7 ESPN in Huntsville and ESPN Winchester and WCDT in Winchester, Tennessee as well. So we've kind of got the area covered all throughout the Tennessee Valley. We'll get back to your calls in just a moment. That number, if you want to get in the queue, is 256-576-4977. We also have your text window, 7329TA show. That's 732-982-7469. Big game coming up tomorrow night in Tuscaloosa as the Tennessee Vols will visit Charles Bediako. It's mind-boggling to me. And the Alabama Crimson Tide, and to help set that up for us is Vince Ferrara of the Sports Animal in Knoxville. He is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Vince, welcome back. How are you?
Man, I'm great. Hope you're doing well. Good luck with all this Ice-Ageddon that is being anticipated around the area.
Yeah, I mean, it was folks around my neck of the woods, and I live in Winchester. They were early in the week. It was like it's going to be 6 to 18 inches, and then it turned into 3 to 5 inches, and now it's like a half to an inch of snow. But it's the ice that's worse than the snow, to be honest with you. And they're talking about up to a half an inch of ice. Which look, I don't want to dumb it down, but it is one of these things where the shelves are empty at the Walmart. My wife had to get off-brand bread, and she called me from the Walmart, and she's like, how many cases of water do you want me to get? I'm like, honey, it's going to be an inch of snow, okay? And it's going to be melted Monday, all right? I don't want to hear about it. So I think we'll get through the weekend. Nobody's taking our water away, okay? The water supply is not going to freeze up. So, but anyway, that's it. You get a little more up there, though. Yeah, where you guys are up on the hill, you get a little more up there.
Well, because Knoxville's in a little valley, there's mountains to all directions around us. So a lot of times we get less, and there's a little bit of a cut in those forecasts to where we might avoid some of the worst stuff. It's supposed to still have, mixture and all that. But man, it can be either not that far away. It can be really devastating, or not a whole lot. But man, that ice on the power lines and stuff, you just never know how long you'll be without power. That's the scary part, especially for those that really rely on it.
Well, yeah, and my dad was a contractor. Of course, he was a contractor. And the worst thing, and I remember the big ice storm of 91 in upstate New York. The worst thing was the ice on the trees took down the power line. So it wasn't the ice on the power line. It's they don't do enough trimming, and because people don't like their trees all being hacked up, and then all of a sudden the limbs start breaking on the trees and taking out the power lines. That one was bad. I mean, that was I remember that was the famous ice storm of 91, up in New York. But that's a whole nother story. An ice storm in these parts, that's about as crazy as a guy that hasn't played basketball for Alabama in 3 years coming back and playing tomorrow night. Charles Bediako. I mean, this is the absurdity of this is how far whacked we are with the NCAA, right? That now we have got a guy who has signed 3 NBA contracts, not played in the NBA, but he has played professionally, in the G League. And he's like, I think I'm going to go back to school. And he's going to play tomorrow night for Alabama.
It is insane. And, obviously Tennessee fans are mad about it because they're the ones that might have to see him maybe for one game, you know, and they're not they can't get punished for it. They can't take away, a win if they beat Tennessee. They can't go back if he's ruled ineligible after the fact and say, oh, well, they played an eligible player. That win doesn't count. I know Mark Pope from Kentucky suggested that, hey, the NCAA, there's the legal part of it, whatever, but the NCAA does their own NCAA tournament. They can do what they want. But even in that temporary restraining order, it says that you're not supposed to punish Alabama in any way, shape, or form. So, how much can you prove that if the NCAA committee does look at that? Who knows? All I know is in an era of college athletics is much as anything else right now, where everything is out in the open and you have coaches complaining, like really being outspoken about, the Baylor player and then this. They're like, a lot of times they want to focus on their teams. Boy, you can lob a question about this and everybody's talking about it now. It is insane. It's different than the European players that are on, so many people's rosters because they haven't been in college before. It's a first time thing for them. But is it unfortunate for players on a roster, on maybe on that roster or any others that end up doing something like this? Yeah, for those players. And Stephen Pearl even mentioned it. He's like, if I was to do something like that, then I got to explain to the guys that are going to lose minutes why they are losing minutes to someone that's coming in from the pro ranks. And it's just a mess. And the NCAA doesn't have any teeth. I get all that. So it's just the insanity of the whole circumstances right now in college athletics.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Tennessee's trying to, Joey Aguilar's trying to get his sixth season, and it has to do with the playing in junior college and everything else, and it's like, really, are we having a hard time giving this guy a sixth season when Alabama's bringing back a basketball player that played 3 years of professional basketball? I mean, it is crazy. Where is the equity in these things?
And you're supposed to continue to be working towards, advancing your earning degree and advancing it. I don't know what Bediako's been doing from a school standpoint. Has he been like taking one online class or something for 3 years? Who knows? But the whole purpose of it is to go to school and advance your school, and then
well, he's gone back to school. I don't think he was doing anything school-wise the last 3 years. He's now re-enrolled. He's enrolled in the spring semester. So now he's a student. But for the last 3 years, he was trying to get down to an NBA. He was had a two-way contract with the Spurs, and he had signed a couple of other contracts. And you're right, it is a little bit different from the Euros. But you know what? Maybe Hendon Hooker. Maybe he can come back because, his quarterback issue there. He hasn't played very much, I mean, maybe Hendon Hooker can come back and play for, he's been backing up in the NFL. That's just how crazy that whole story is. Now, I do want to get to the football team in a moment, but let's finish with the basketball since we started there. This is a classic matchup of a great offense against a great defense, right? I mean, this is Alabama, scoring all kinds of points all season long. They also give up the most points of anybody in the SEC against the defense by Tennessee, which, this is a Rick Barnes team, so you're going to get this great defense. They continue to play tremendous. They turn the ball over too much. They don't make enough free throws, but they are great defensively. So this is kind of a fascinating matchup, and it does make you wonder how in the heck they blew a 17-point lead to Kentucky the way they normally play defense.
Yeah, because they let up and they get casual sometimes, and even though the numbers are still very good, Tom, this isn't a typical Rick Barnes defensive team. Like, there are standards and the bar is very high for how they typically play. This team doesn't play that way. They're able to hold teams down in good numbers, but some of that is the pre-conference numbers, against lesser competition. They haven't been as good in SEC play, and they don't have the dog suffocate you mindset all the time. They can tee up, some possessions and some stretches, but they don't have the Mashaks, the Zieglers, the Josiah Jordan Jameses, on and on, that were just absolutely could will you to the finish line on defense if they weren't making shots. This team is more skilled offensively, but they're not as dog-like defensively. So, Rick Barnes has been trying to get them to elevate that defensive play and have that be the priority, because they have the skill to where if they get that defense to that typical level with their offensive skill, then they can put both on in games and then maybe have more upside down the road. but they got a long way to go to get to that. Plus, you mentioned the turnovers. They don't protect the ball. Jacoby Gillespie, their best player, had 3 turnovers in the final 4 minutes, including one that led to a breakaway, steal, and one. It was critical in that Kentucky game. Just they're too casual at times, soft with the ball. Their bigs have been highly inconsistent. They have a lot of potential with their bigs. But, man, they had 15 combined rebounds among their 4 post players last game, and that does not count Ament. And then fans have been all over Ament as a 5-star. He's actually on a good stretch getting better, but there's times where he's not a factor. He's deferring. Then when he turns it on, he can be effective. It's just been so yo-yo and up and down, game to game, within a game. This team has been pretty frustrating for fans to this point.
They've fallen out of the top 25 with the loss to Kentucky. What is the upside for this team? I mean, is it just this is what it is? I mean, it's still so early in conference play, but you've seen enough basketball to kind of have a sense for it. I mean, if they were to play 40 minutes hard every night, I mean, where can this team go?
Well, first, falling out of the top 25. It broke a 90-week streak in the AP Top 25 going back to 2021. That's how consistent they've been under Rick Barnes. So, yeah, that was noteworthy there for sure. What's the upside? The upside is because I think they have a lot more skill offensively. If they were to find that grind defense, that suffocating type of defensive mindset, this team does have more upside and more depth than past players that had the individual stars and the leadership. They could if it comes all together. But Tom, I think for some fans, the final chapter for this team has already been written. Like I think for many fans, not everybody, because some are definitely hopeful, but I think for some fans, they feel like this team is what it is. Even Rick Barnes said, right now we are who we are. That doesn't mean they can't get better. Nate Ament is a highly skilled future NBA lottery pick potentially that can get better and is getting better as the year goes on. Those portal guys, the older guys, they're the ones that have been – Rick Barnes thought that he would get more consistency from those guys, more of three-point shooting. They haven't been a great three-point shooting team. Their free throw shooting has been terrible and has probably cost them a game or two. These are fundamental things that they should be better at. But the whole defensive mindset of locking you down first and foremost, I don't know if they have that because I think that's a natural thing. Meshack, Ziegler, those guys were wired that way. I don't know if anyone is wired that way, so they would have to develop that. And I don't know if you can develop that within a season. So on paper, it looks like they should be able to be better than last year if it all comes together. But can that all happen within a year, even though it's fairly early in the year? I don't know. It would take a pretty significant transformation and change in mindset with the current players.
So they need a lobotomy, is what you're talking about. They need a team lobotomy. Vince Ferrara with us here from
injection. Yeah,
there you go.
Something significant.
Vince Ferrara here from the Sports Animal in Knoxville. All right, let's switch to the football. Let's start with the Joey Aguilar situation because the obviously quarterback is so important to everybody, and including Josh Heupel's offense. But where do you think, if you're handicapping the Aguilar situation, what do you think the prospects are for him?
Very little chance that he comes back. I would be surprised.
Okay.
It's February 10th, I believe it is when the hearing is set. We've had national writers that are kind of tracking this and have followed it a little bit more I think Matt Zenith might have put it out there that it's very unlikely that he gets a ruling in his favor. The judge that is going to rule on this is the one that declined the Vanderbilt player and some others in Nashville, a week or two ago, their attempted eligibility, and their case was probably more favorable than Aguilar because of how long he's been in college football. So It's probably unlikely, but you just never know. You can't just absolutely go on precedent. So Tennessee doesn't expect that. If he was to be eligible, I think he would immediately be the favorite to be the starting quarterback, because the only quarterback Tennessee was able to get in the portal is Ryan Staub, who was a backup at Colorado.
What was the point of that? I mean, I don't even know what the point of that is. I mean, you got the redshirt freshman George McIntyre, who is from Franklin, Tennessee, by the way, in our listening area here. So we got a local kid over there, George McIntyre, who I think was a little more impressive than folks thought last year during the August camp. And then you got the stud coming in with Faison Brandon. So you got an elite, stud quarterback coming in as a 6'4", 200-pounder coming in. Number 9 overall recruit in this year's class. What's the point of bringing in Colorado's backup? I mean, I don't understand that.
You need a third body. I mean, with guys that get hurt at that position so much, you can't. And then you're also one play away potentially early from putting a true freshman out there. And as talented as he is, I think he's going to be a great quarterback. He's to me the most impressive quarterback that Tennessee has signed in my time that I've been here since 2010.
Talking about Brandon?
I think you're
talking about Brandon.
He's on Brandon. Yes, absolutely. I think he is going to be phenomenal, but that's probably going to take some time, and it's just hard to win with a true freshman. You just don't get those teams that have true freshman quarterbacks aren't often getting to the college football playoff, if at all. So I think it's dicey to do it right away. And Staub is not. He's an emergency body, but you need a third scholarship quarterback. To just go in with just 2 and then go to walk-ons after that's where it's dicey. At least Staub has played a little bit, has some experience, and who knows, maybe with more talent here, he played on a bad Colorado team. Maybe he can be functional in a short period of time if you needed him. So that's the only reason. Not, they shot their shot with Levitt and originally with Sorsby, but they were so expensive. It didn't work out. Tennessee has had to and has added a whole lot, especially on defense. You just couldn't throw all your money at that position, insane amounts of money. They needed to use it on defense, and they have, because they have completely overhauled. It's an interesting group that they brought in the portal with new defensive coordinator Jim Knowles.
Well, the quarterback room, between Brandon and McIntyre is going to look like the basketball room. I mean, McIntyre's 6'6", Brandon's 6'4". I mean, these are big quarterbacks there. And now McIntyre didn't come in with the fanfare, obviously, that Brandon did, but he does have a year in the system under his belt, and he was relatively impressive as well. What are the chances that he can hold Brandon off? I mean, is it just inevitable that by the time they get into conference play or whatever, that Brandon would take over? Or is there a thought that, maybe there is something to McIntyre?
No, I think McIntyre is the favorite. I think just from a youth standpoint, understanding the offense, it for a young player coming out of high school, it takes time. Now, Joey Aguilar was able to get up to speed pretty quickly when he came in really late last year when he transferred over from UCLA. But he's a guy that's been around the block for a long time, mature, and already has an understanding for football, some familiarity in some of the schemes he had previously worked. It's different coming from high school. Now, Brandon is more physically put together to where you would think that he could sustain, SEC football with his stature and his presence already. George McIntyre, very skinny. He has put on some weight, but that's the thing. That's the thing you wonder about McIntyre, is not his understanding of the offense, is can he sustain and be able to withstand the hits in the SEC with his frame. But look, Nico was a redshirt freshman when he played, and he's probably equally as skinny, and he was able to survive it. So I think because of the experience in the offense, and like you said, he was impressive, I think Tennessee missed out on opportunities to play him last year. There were times they played Merklinger. To me, Tennessee should have understood that Merklinger would be on the way out. A lot of us expected that he would. And so even in the bowl game, like play McIntyre a series or two. And that's the other thing, Tom, is Josh Heupel on offense does not have much of a track record of playing freshmen very much. There are exceptions, but they don't always prosper. David Sanders Jr. was supposed to be their starting right tackle last year, but he got hurt the week of the opener. He will be Tennessee's starting left tackle, and a stud there for sure. But you just don't have freshmen playing as much on offense as you do for Tennessee on defense with a track record. So I think that's another thing that works against them. Now, eventually over time, especially if McIntyre struggles, sure, fans will be calling for it. They may, if Brandon is picking things up and just looking so impressive, and if McIntyre struggles, sure, they may go that route. But I think McIntyre, as long as he is putting in the work, continues putting in the work, and looks like he has, I think he'll be the favorite to win that job, even though Tennessee will present it as a competition with the three of them.
So 27 guys leave, 18 are in. Maybe the biggest recruit is Jim Knowles. You mentioned him. The defensive coordinator comes in with some Big Ten pedigree for sure. And, a couple of studs from Penn State. You would think the Gilliam kid at defensive line is going to be an instant impact guy. And then, of course, Chaz Coleman, the edge player from Penn State as well, 6'4", 246-pound, five-star transfer. You figure that guy's got to, do a lot of damage as well. So, it would seem to be that, defense is going to rule the day right now for this team, the way it'll start out at least.
Oh, I think they have a chance to be drastically improved. I mean, with Jim Knowles already, and I know there's been a lot of talk about his system being complicated, but I think he has adjusted. And don't mistake the fact that there's 4 Penn State players on this defense that came over in the portal, and that will help with adjustments as well. Oh, by the way, I think they all are going to play from day one. Mm-hmm. So I think that helps you with transition. They can help those other players in addition to when you're on the practice field. So I think that's massive. You do retain Rodney Garner and William Inge, so there are some holdovers from the previous staff. I think they will blend in with Jim Knowles perfectly. So from a scheme standpoint, they'll be better. And then from a personnel standpoint, I think they'll be better and older. And that is an important thing. I was looking at this morning, Tom. You mentioned the Penn State transfers. You mentioned a couple of them. I think all 4 of them start on this defense. I was looking at, all right, who's going to start? Laying them all out. I think not only do all 4 Penn State transfers start, Gilliam at defensive tackle, Coleman at that Leo rush spot, Amari Campbell, one of the 2 inside linebacker spots from Penn State, and then Dazon Lane, the safety from Penn State. And then I think there's 3 more transfers that will start. In Metcalf at safety, Moss at the nickel spot, and then also Lee, the corner from Auburn. I think 7 transfers could start, if you looked at it right now, out of the 11 on defense, and 4 of them from Penn State. So that's how different the personnel, I think, will look like from day one on this defense. So, yeah, they've invested in the portal with a lot on defense, and I think it will pay off between the personnel and the coaching that they will get next year.
The other thing that feels so weird, for those of us who've been around for a minute is, not only are guys transferring all over the place, but 8 of the guys that left went to the other SEC schools. That's so odd. You know what I mean? Just to see all of these guys going to Kentucky or Oklahoma or to LSU or, whatever. It's like, really? Why? We never saw that in the past. And that's just the new world, now that we have guys leave. Not only do they transfer, but they're transferring to opponents that they're going to see this year. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And we used to have the spring window, and then in the SEC, you were not allowed to go to another SEC school from that window. Now everybody is flooded to this one window, and so we're seeing a lot more of that, whereas others didn't have that option if they were jumping into the portal later. And you mentioned the players that Tennessee has lost. Tom, if you look at On3 lists the scholarship players that have departed and entered for each school. I think it's a better read. So Tennessee, of that group that they have left. 23 of them are scholarship players. So I think that gives you a better. And I think last I checked, Tennessee was ranked 19th in the portal rankings, taking all those things into coming and going into the equation. But yeah, of those, only 2 were starters. So then the kind of numbers look a little bit different. Middle of the pack in terms of total number of guys leaving, but a lot of guys that weren't getting playing time or didn't have it promised with some new coaches for next year, they're the ones that took off. And I just gave an example of how many potential starters you could get just on one side of the ball from the portal. It looks like the portal, regardless of what the rankings are, has been a overall net positive for Tennessee.
Always a pleasure. Does a tremendous job. Vince Ferrara has been our guest from the Sports Animal in Knoxville. Vincenzo, have a good weekend. Stay warm. Watch the AFC NFC Championship games on Sunday. And I don't know what we do with our Saturday right now, but if it was warm enough, I'm going to go work in my barn. I mean, that's what I'm left with. I got to go work in the barn on Saturday. So that's where we're at.
Hey, you got a great studio set up there, so you should be good to go. We got to get the producers into the radio stations, right, to get us on the air. Well, heck breaks loose.
That's what I told them. They're like our program director was like, okay, guys, there might be an Ice Monday, and I don't know. I'm like, wait a minute, I got a producer that lives 3 miles from the radio station. Just get your butt in there.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, all you got to do is kind of walk across your lot, and you're into your other building, and boom, you're on the air. But we'll see how that all works out on Monday. All right, man.
All right, great to talk to you, man. Appreciate it, Paisano.
All right, thank you. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll come back. We'll open the phone lines back up. You want to get in line, you can do it now, 256-576-4977. We'll reset our Friday trifecta. We do have an Owen Home Appliance Friday trifecta for you. We've got the 2. You got to hit the 2 games. I'll reset the scoring for you, but you got to hit the 2 games. But if you do hit the 2 games, then you have an opportunity to tack on bonus points. You could get as many as 12 points this week in the Friday trifecta. So we'll reset all of that when we return. It's the Thom Abraham Show. More in a moment.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Championship Sunday in the National Football League. The Seattle Seahawks laying 2.5 against the Rams, 47.5 the total at Lumen Field, while the Patriots have been bet down to a 4.5-point favorite at the Broncos, 42.5 the total. VSiN's Matt Humans and Gil Alexander like Denver at plus 5.5. And John Hanson and Mike Somich both like Jared Stidham to go over 195.5 passing yards in at quarterback for the injured Bo Nix. That's bets available VSIN.com/picks. College basketball today. Jacksonville State a 1.5 home underdog against Middle Tennessee State. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team to play is with USSSA. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but recreational tournaments as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, Alabama softball will host the USSSA National Championship this year at the Gulf Shore in Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. For more information, visit alfastpitch.usssa.com. Check out the schedule at alfastpitch.usssa.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
Your Fox 54 weather.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Today is going to be uneventful. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-40s. We drop into the mid-20s as we head into the overnight. Some freezing rain is going to build into the Tennessee Valley through the earliest hours of Saturday morning. As we head into Saturday afternoon, it should transition to liquid rain and then stay liquid rain until Sunday afternoon.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Mike Owen and Owen Home Appliance. Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance also prides themselves on community involvement as well. They get involved in all kinds of things, sponsoring local teams and events and so on, and they make sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. It's Owen Home Appliance. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Glad that you are with us today. Phone number is 256-576-4977. A couple of other things that we have been touching on. If you're just joining in on the show today, college football playoff is going to remain at 12, at least for next season. Every year, by December 1st, they're able to make a change for the following year. That was extended this year to today, but then no change will happen. The SEC and the Big Ten just could not agree on a format going forward. Both were good with 16 going forward, but the 10 wanted to guarantee that it will go to 24 after 3 years, and Greg Sankey wasn't ready to go there at this time. And I'll be honest with you, I agree with him. That would have basically ended conference championship games. Tony Petitti is interested in how the committee is going to handle the SEC and ACC going to 9 conference games. Of course, the SEC and the ACC compel their teams to play a 10th Power 4 game as well. So you can only play 2 cupcakes. You can only play 2 G6 or FCS games in the SEC and the ACC. The Big Ten does not do that. The Big Ten is like, yeah, you can go play 3 cupcakes. You can continue to play 3 cupcakes, as Indiana will next year again. Okay, so there is that. Now, the changes are that this season, the Power 4 conference champs are guaranteed a spot in the 12-team field, which means Duke would have been in. Now, the ACC has changed the way they're going to determine the two teams that go to the ACC championship game. So, it's going to be different where a 7-5 team is not going to end up in the conference championship game. But the reality is this year, Duke would have been in. And there are also another change is that Notre Dame automatically is in the tournament if they're in the top 12, which means Notre Dame would have been in. So Miami went all the way to the national championship game, wouldn't even have been in the thing. Wouldn't even have been in it. All right, so for our own home appliance Friday trifecta, you got to hit the two games. You got to hit the two games to get a touchdown. You got to hit the two games to get 6 points right off the bat. All right? So we have the Patriots minus 4.5 at the Broncos and the Rams plus 2.5 at the Seahawks. Then we have two bonuses. And you hit either one, you get 3 points for each one you hit. If you hit them both, you get 6 additional points. That would be 12 points. So 12 points on the line here. We can have some serious movement. The first bonus is the AFC plus 4.5 points versus the NFC. In other words, the total in the game. The AFC total is 42.5. The NFC total is 46.5. So we'll give you 4.5 with the AFC. And the question is, who scores more, the AFC game or the NFC game? The second bonus is the Vols getting 3.5 in Tuscaloosa against Alabama tomorrow night in basketball. LSU Lynch is up. LSU Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, yeah, real quick. With this reclassification, I don't know if you was aware, but, Mars Hill is moving into the same class as Westminster, which I think that is totally freaking wrong, dude.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find the actual groupings, and I think I did see that Mars Hill and Westminster were together. So the privates, what he's talking about, in the state of Alabama now, they have gone ahead. They're reclassifying. The largest classification is going to be 6A now instead of 7A. It'll be the top 32 size teams in the state, which means Buckhorn is the 32nd. It'll be the smallest school in 6A. So they'll be up there now with James Clemens and Bob Jones and those people. The privates are being broke out. So the privates will have two divisions. The privates will be the 17 largest privates in one, and then the second. So there's like private division A and private division AA. And that's the way. Now they can still play public schools during the season, but those are non-region games now. So go ahead, Lynch.
Oh, yeah, I just want to comment on that, son. Look here. I ain't coming back till next Friday. I may not come home till after that. Have a great weekend. Go LSU.
The 17 biggest private schools in the state will be in AA. Single A will feature the remaining private schools across the state. I'm trying to get as much of this figured out as, while we're doing the show, because it's all kind of happening. We knew that 7A was going away and becoming 6, and the schools that were 6A schools like Lake Chalkville, the ones that weren't big enough to be in the top 32, the traditional 6A schools, they now drop into 5A, but it's not really dropping, if you know what I mean. Okay, everything is just being re-racked, if you will. But it's I think AL.com has the list of all of the classifications now, the schools in all the classifications, but you can't get through the paywall. What I do know is this is going to be very similar now to Tennessee. Tennessee has 6 classifications, and their privates are split up, but they're split up. And stop me if I'm lying. Somebody's listening to Tennessee. They're split up, at least they used to be, between scholarship privates and non-scholarship privates. Some some privates, like the Ensworths of the world and the Brentwood Academy in the world, they offer scholarships. But places like CPA don't have scholarships. So I think they're split, the scholarship privates versus the non-scholarship privates. At least that's the way it used to be. Grumpy is next. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. So I like all this high school talk, and thanks for Jackson to call in and get some new blood in here. I wish they would just return the champion, the Super Six, to Bryant Denny and Jordan Hare. If you were an athlete in Alabama, Would you rather play in 50-50 shot of playing at Jordan-Hare or Bryant-Denny, or would you rather play at Progressive Field in Birmingham?
I mean, the history of obviously those two places is so much greater. The more central location and the smaller stadium of Progressive Field. I mean, look, let's be honest. You play at Bryant-Denny or at Jordan-Hare, I mean, it's massively empty. At least if you
care? Well, how does that?
Well, the players. I think the atmosphere is important. Don't you think the atmosphere is a little bit important?
Hell no. Yeah, the atmosphere. Yeah, that's why you would. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's why you would play at Jordan-Hare or Bryant-Denny. It's to be able to say later in life, "Hey, I played at that." When you see it on TV, I just don't. When they moved it to Birmingham, I was just disappointed, and I go to those games, and then listen, man, if you can get 24 teams into the playoff, okay, let me ask you this. Do you care if the Big Ten has a championship game, or is it just the SEC championship game that you care about?
No, I am a fan of conference championship games. I think they should be an entree. I just don't know what you make it worth, but I think it should be like an automatic buy or something like that. Okay, I want the conference championship game to mean something.
Yeah, but listen, man, if we can get 24 teams in, which they're going to do, there's more money in it, I believe. They're going to get 24 in.
Those conference championship games. The conference championship games, both the Big Ten and the SEC, they had more people watching those. Well, yeah, but the money comes from TV. They had more people watching those than watching the first round of the playoffs.
Money's always going to come from TV, and you're kind of proving my point, because as this grows, a 24 game playoff will make more money than having these conference games. I'm a firm believer in that. I think if you're going to start playing so many SEC games with interleague, you can figure out who the conference champion is without playing a SEC championship game. You don't have to play that game. You can figure out through the scheduling who the better team is, give them the trophy, and move on to what really matters, which is the playoff.
I still like the regional aspect of a conference championship. I really do.
Yeah.
I think I think it's an important thing. And the fact that more people watch that than watch the first round of the playoffs, I think is a thing. I think people would rather watch, because the first round has some matchups that are really bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I think it's a thing because it's what we have to watch. The same way with the NFL, the top 100 rated programs every year, 95% of those programs are NFL. And the reason is because everything else on TV is garbage. So I think those same numbers would translate over if you gave us 24 teams. I think more people, you would eventually get more people watching those 24 games than the SEC. The only reason that many people watch the SEC championship game is because there's nothing going up against it, is what I'm saying. It's a great spectacle, but 40% of the people watching that game, like you say, doesn't know if the ball is stuffed or inflated. But anyway,
but the same thing with the first round games, right? They were all independent. There was no competition for those games except for the second two. The second two had NFL competition. That's going to be the biggest issue. If you go to 24, which I'm okay with, but if you go to 24, you better fix the calendar. We better start the playoffs the 1st of December and use the entire month of December for the playoffs, because as soon as the NFL starts playing head to head with college, the NFL, it just crushes it, crushes the number.
That's fine, though. I think you can crush the opponent, and the opponent can still eat steaks and lobster. There's plenty of money to go around. I don't have to beat the NFL. I'd love to have some college games on.
You just can't have 2 weeks in between every freaking round, It just, let's go. If we're going to go, let's go, especially if we have 24. I mean, they played the national championship of the FCS on January 5th. That's beautiful, to me.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Try and get, do it. That'll be part of it. I think when they go to 24, that'll be part of it. But
Jackson, thanks for calling the show, man. Loved your call.
Yeah. The national championship game, 30 million people. 30 million people. It's the most to watch a national championship game since Ohio State and Oregon in the inaugural year of 2014-15 season. 2015, they had 34 million watch that first national championship game between Ohio State and Oregon. And But that's a misleading deal there, in my opinion, because that game was on ABC. Remember, the first year it was on ABC, and then they moved it to everything to ESPN. So to me, and I'm going to admit that I was wrong on this, because I thought that this would be one of the lowest rated games. You know, the whole Monday night thing and the matchup, and I thought it would be a low rated deal. It ended up being the highest rated ever on ESPN. And we had the least watched semifinal in the history of the college football playoff, you know, on that Thursday and Friday night before. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going away. I mean, the fans have gone away. And then we come back with 30 million, almost twice as many people. Twice as many people watched the national championship game on a Monday night than watched the semifinal game on a Thursday night or a Friday night. So I'm wrong. I mean, maybe part of it was Monday. Maybe conditioning means something. Just like I said, conditioning meant something about playing on New Year's Day. Maybe Monday night means something. Maybe that conditioning means something. By the way, as part of this whole thing, and it's not going to really impact it, but when the talk was to go to 16 or even 24 in the playoff, President Trump said that he was going to sign an executive order to protect the Army-Navy game because they were afraid there would be playoff games going on at the same time as the Army-Navy game. And so the president said he was signing I don't know if he ended up doing this or not, but he said he was going to sign an executive order that would block out a 4-hour window to be broadcast annually on the second Saturday in December without any other FBS games, including the college football matchup in that window. I don't know if he ended up doing that or not. But he's like, look, we can have all the playoffs you want, but this Army-Navy game has to be here. And I'll just say this about that. Would it be the end of the world to have the Army-Navy game Labor Day weekend? Let that ferment for a moment. All right, we get a break. Come back. Wrap it up next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's Larry from Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Chris Lowe, it has been a bleak fortnight in Alabama.
They made progress, but I think the fact that they lost 2 of their last 3 games, money games that everybody remembers, is something that's not going to sit well.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC network.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, longtime friends of the show. To be honest with you, it's been about 20 years that we have been hooked up with TOC, and they just do such a great job. They service the Huntsville Havoc, Alabama A&M, most of the high schools in the region. They got 13 locations all throughout the Tennessee Valley. So if you have an orthopedic problem, if you're considering professional care, really, TOC, it's the only logical choice. You need to contact TOC. Make your appointment. When you need them, they're there. Always in the Tennessee Valley, TOC. All right, we finally got it. I finally got it. For those of you listening in Alabama, we got it. LSU Lynch, I hope you're still listening. You're wrong. Love you. You were wrong on that. You might be happy about that. But you were wrong about where Westminster Christian is going to be. Okay, Mars Hill, you had mentioned Mars Hill. Mars Hill is in classification A of the privates. They're in classification A, Region 4, okay, with Decatur Heritage and Whitesburg, Coosa River, Lindsay Lane, Shoals, and Westbrook Christian, okay? That's where they are. In private AA, the larger private schools, okay? Private AA, the larger of the private schools. Region 2 is American Christian, Briarwood, John Carroll, Lee Scott Academy, Madison Academy, Randolph, St. John Paul II Catholic, and Westminster Christian. All right, so that's Region 2. Now, in 6A, Region 4 is the following: Bob Jones, Gadsden City, Grissom, Huntsville, James Clemens, Sparkman, Buckhorn, and Hazel Green. So both Buckhorn and Hazel Green both move up to the new 6A, which is the old 7A. I don't hate that region. Bob Jones, Buckhorn, Gadsden City, Grissom, Hazel Green, Huntsville, James Clemens, and Sparkman. 8 teams, 4 of them make the playoff. Do not hate that. Do not hate that region. Do not hate that at all. We finally got them. I'll try and post a link for it. All right, that's going to do it for us. Remember, you got until tomorrow kickoff to get in on the trifecta. It's posted at Thom Abraham Show on the X. For the boys across the glass, Grasshopper and Hollywood Hogan, I am Thom Abraham. Have a great weekend, everybody.